What was the type of soup that JR decided to sacrifice on his assistant coach? Fortunately, the good people at Cleveland.com decided to test out what soup would be the best to throw at someone. Italian wedding, split pea, chicken noodle, split pea with bacon, or even tomato. After several tests, they arrived at a decision.
Hello and welcome to the 7th episode of Crunch Time, the show where I ask a sports-related question to a panel of 4 contestants who present their answers to me in the form of 1-minute video rants. My name is Liam Crothers, and with several NFL teams rebranding for the 2020 season, whenever it may be, I decided to ask our panelists Milan, Aiden, Janek, and Patrick what team needs new threads. So guys, it's time to get your Project Runway on and tell us who you think needs new jerseys. The rules of the game are simple. Our 4 contestants present their rants to me, and when the episode is over, you, the audience, votes on the winner, either in the comments section or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, links in the description below. But before we get into the rants, let's go over last episode's voting results. Milan, who ranted that Derrick Rose's injury is the biggest what-if in sports in the last 10 years, won with 46% of the vote. He also apologized for brutalizing Joakim Noah, so that's nice. Arguing that the Lakers vetoed trade for Chris Paul, Ethan got 29% of the vote. But as a fan of fishing and beverages, my biggest what-if is what if Ethan would have won Crunch Time? Elizabeth, who argued for Kawhi Leonard's draft day trade from the Pacers, lost with 20% of the vote. I'm sorry, Elizabeth, but I'll have you know, Kawhi and Paul George are finally united, and I hear the weather's quite nice. Lastly, our defending champion Pete, who argued for Colin Kaepernick losing Super Bowl 47, finished with just 5% of the vote. I'm sorry, Pete, but at least you have more success than the 49ers have in the last 25 years, so it's not all that bad, is it? Our returning champion, Milan Stan, will be arguing that all Puma soccer jerseys need to be changed. Unfortunately, I guess Crunch Time's not getting a Puma sponsorship after this, so thanks, Milan.
Man City, Borussia Dortmund, and AC Milan. What do these 3 football clubs have in common? Well, they all have abysmal kits, and they're all sponsored by Puma. Puma's slowly trying to challenge the likes of Nike and Adidas, but they're doing a terrible job. With exception made to Dortmund's all-black 4th kit this year, their designs are always horrible and extremely bland. None of their kits go with a fit the same way that PSG's Jordan jerseys do, and as we know, fashion is really important in this day and age. If you can't pull off a jersey with a nice fit, it's just not it. For example, Arsenal have had Puma kits for years now. The first year they've gone with Adidas, they've arguably had the best kits of the 2019 and 20 season. But that's not even the worst part about this. The fitting on them is just way too tight. They argue it's to prevent shirt pulling in matches, but isn't that technically cheating? Shirt pulling has been part of the game forever, and preventing it with making the shirts a little tighter is just a little bit silly to me. I say it's about time we ban Puma from making kits, because quite frankly, they're just not appealing and they're just way too uncomfortable.
All that Puma money. Think about the summer home I could have got. I hope you're happy with yourself.
Next up is Aiden Silifant, arguing that the Ottawa Senators need new jerseys. Personally, I think they just need new players.
Not only are the Ottawa Senators one of the worst teams in the National Hockey League, but they also have some pretty bad uniforms, and it is definitely time for a change. The Sens have had the same home and away jerseys for the past 13 years, making it out of the first round only twice during that time. I am a fan of the red, but the jersey is too simple, and also their logo of a general does not look intimidating whatsoever. The Sens have had their fair share of alternate jerseys in the past, so I would like to see them incorporate some of those designs moving forward. I know the fans would love a new look as well, as it might give them some hope and optimism that the organization is moving in the right direction. And with apparently a bright future on the horizon for the Sens, and a promising top prospect, maybe 2 in the next NHL draft, the Sens should look at switching up their threads to welcome in the next wave of young talent in Ottawa. And maybe, just maybe, the team will start winning some games.
Thanks, Aiden. And you're right. Having a man's face as your logo is not scary. Unless maybe that man was Mike Tyson. Business idea. Put Mike Tyson's face on a jersey. Next up, it's halftime. Halftime is brought to you by the Big League Podcast, hosted by Connor Somerville and Crunch Time ranter Aiden Silifant.
Hafthor Bjornsson is 2.01 meters or 6'9" and 193 kilograms. Eddie Hall, 1.9 meters, 6'3", 164 kilograms. There's a 6-inch weight difference. Or height difference, not weight. Height difference between the two.
Okay, so wait, do we know who came up with the idea for them to box? Was it Eddie or was it Thor?
I can't remember exactly who it was, but Eddie Hall has agreed to it.
This guy's just gonna step on him.
Eddie Hall is in a lot of trouble. Apparently,
I need to look at
this
their,
this gets even more
images.
interesting.
Yeah.
Eddie Hall has a little boxing experience.
Okay.
I don't know
Still,
if
though,
Hafthor does.
He can't even hit his face. How is he gonna hit his face?
Next, we have Janek Lambert, arguing that the Dallas Mavericks need to change their jerseys. Hey Mark Cuban, I think you better listen up. Hey Janek, this is your Shark Tank pitch. Get after it, buddy.
So back in 2017, when Nike became the NBA's official supplier of jerseys, teams started rolling out these new City Edition jerseys every year that, for the most part, look pretty good. Brooklyn has a Biggie-inspired Coogee print with Bed-Stuy on the chest, and Miami's Miami Vice jerseys are easily top 5 all time. But if you were to ask me which team needs new uniforms, I have to say the Dallas Mavericks. This year, they released a graffiti-looking jersey that's supposed to be inspired by the murals around Dallas, but instead they look like something out of a Disney Channel movie, and not in a good way. Their track record isn't great either. Back in 2003, they had these gray metallic jerseys that Mark Cuban himself described as wet garbage. They only ended up wearing them for one game when they got blown up by the Lakers. Even during the 90s, when teams had their golden age of jerseys, no one can really tell you what a Dallas Mavericks jersey looks like. In the end, these graffiti ones are just not it. Not even Luka Magic can save these.
Thanks for the rant, Janek. And thank you for wearing a jersey that looks much better than anything the Mavericks have ever worn.
Last but not least, we have Patrick Talon, who will be arguing that the Calgary Flames need new jerseys. Is it too easy to say that their new jersey should be fire? You're right, I'll see myself out.
What team needs new uniforms? Without a doubt, the Calgary Flames. Calgary's current logo is nothing more than a forced attempt to hang on to a concept from the Atlanta Flames. At least in Atlanta's case, the flame was naturally incorporated in the logo, and the word flames was representative of something that actually happened in Atlanta. Calgary's looks like a children's drawing of a sea, except with flames attached to it. Also, from a design standpoint, having a provincial flag and a Canadian flag on opposite shoulders seems a little bit excessive to me. Calgary isn't even close to being Canada's team, nor is it the only team in Alberta. Also, an entirely blue Alberta flag on a jersey that is almost entirely orange or red or whatever color it is does not mesh well at all. Now, when the NHL made the change from Reebok to Adidas in 2017, Calgary, just like every single other NHL team, had the opportunity to make tweaks to their jerseys, but they opted not to. Now, I'm running out of time here, guys, so I figured I'd leave you guys with a quote from Twitter legend Pete Blackburn, who once said, "The Calgary Flames are significantly underachieving with their current primary jerseys," and he is absolutely correct. If one team needs an upgrade, it's Calgary.
Thanks, Patrick. I gotta agree with you, but I have a great idea for a new jersey. Hear me out. Lanny McDonald's mustache. That's it.
Well, that's going to do it for Crunch Time. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. More importantly, make sure to vote for the episode winner either in the comments or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. You can follow all of our Crunch Time ranters on social media with links in the description below. And be sure to check out the Big League Podcast. My name is Liam Crothers. Thank you for watching Crunch Time.